Is Paris Saint-Germain going to be relegated from Super League 1? Hello everyone, this is the What If League and today we're doing episode 6 of the brand new series, the Super Leagues. In today's episode we're going to follow the next 3 weeks of development in the 5 Super Leagues as well as the domestic cup competitions that I have customly created. If you haven't checked out the previous series of the previous episodes of this series, please make sure you do so, especially episode 1 where I explain in details the concept, the rules and the overall idea of this experiment. Today I'm going to start with something different. I'm going to check first of all the job security section and whose jobs are under some threat. So as you can see at the moment we have Claudio Biagio's job at San Lorenzo is under review. They're struggling, apparently 6th position for them is not okay. I imagine they have higher expectations, which is quite odd, but in the end it is what it is. We also see Jupp Heynckes, Unai Emery and Sinisa Mihajlovic. All three of them are insecure and it's not really a surprise for the first two. I'm not really sure what the Torino board is expecting from them in the Super League 4. I agree that they're not in the best situation at the 15th position with 4 losses in a row, but I am getting the feeling that they're not really taking into consideration the fierce competition they find themselves with. Now let's also have a quick look at the job center, if there is somebody who is if there is any club looking for a job. Apparently no, so I think that all of the top 5 Super League divisions teams are still with their current bosses. Nothing has changed, so we can now move on to Super League 1. In the top tier division of the Super Leagues, we see that Real Madrid is still leading the way, but Barcelona have fallen into 3rd place. Manchester United are now 2nd, they have climbed above them with 1 point, and the Red Devils find themselves only 1 point behind the leaders Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid, Juventus and Manchester City all share the position between 4th and 6th place with 17 points each, while at the bottom of the table we still find Roma, Paris Saint-Germain and Italian Napoli. Paris Saint-Germain are one of the biggest surprises in this experiment. I really didn't expect them to struggle that much in this league. I think they have more than enough class in their team to be much higher in the rankings, but things are developing as the football major artificial intelligence has decided. We are now in the Super League 2 and we see that Santos is leading the way, 1 point above Cruzeiro. Santos with 21, Cruzeiro with 20, then Valencia and Villarreal, the Spanish teams, both with 19 in 3rd and 4th position respectively. At the bottom of the table we still find Dutch team Ajax, only 4 points against their name with 4 draws. They are yet to record a victory. Same goes for Lazio, who are just 1 point above them with 1 more draw. And the Brazilian Palmeiras are with 8 points in the last position in the relegation zone. This is very unfortunate for those teams, and I'm sure that there will be more development until the end of this season. Something interesting in this division is that Simone Zaza is now the leading goal scorer with 8 goals. He has 2 more than Carlos Bacca from Villarreal and 3 more than Artem Djuba from Zenit St. Petersburg. One level below in Super League 3, Turkish Beşiktaş is still leading this division with 21 points, 3 more than Bayer Leverkusen and Brazilian Fluminense. German Schalke and the Dutch PSV Eindhoven are in 4th and 5th position with 16 points respectively, while in the bottom of the table the Greek Olympiacos is really rock bottom there with only 1 point from 1 draw. They are together in the relegation zone with Cruz Azul and Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce are in the relegation zone only because they have poor goal difference compared to the English Everton. Top goal scorer in this division is Kevin Volland from Bayer Leverkusen. As you can see, he is now with 8 goals, 2 more than Silvio Romero and Rafael from Copa America and Borussia Mönchengladbach respectively. In Super League 4, the leader is still Tigres. Tigres now have recorded 9 wins and 1 draw. This is almost perfect beginning of the season for them. They have 28 points and are leading confidently. But Real Betis are right behind them with 26 points, which means that they only have 1 more draw. So this is very interesting. You can see that these two teams have really run with it at the moment and are far ahead of everybody else. Spartak Moscow with 19 is in third place, being chased by Newcastle with 18 points. Galatasaray, Anderlecht and Pumas are at the bottom of the table in the relegation zone, and unless they really improve their game, they would be for a big challenge until the end of the season. And now we are in Super League 5, the lowest level of the Super League divisions, where the Italian Genoa are leading with 20 points, 2 more than Racing Club and 3 more than Stoke and Internacional in 3rd and 4th position. At the bottom, Pachuca, Bordeaux and Atalanta, but just a reminder, the Super League 5 does not have relegation, so this is not really concerning them in terms of relegating to a lower division, but they will struggle to get out of this division anytime soon. It's time to now check the cup competitions, and first we start with the Super League Cup. We see that on the 17th of October, Arsenal managed to record a 3-0 victory against Malaga. 2 days later, Real Betis eliminated Barcelona. This is a very big surprise. You can see that Real Betis are from Super League 4, while of course Barcelona is in the top tier. Betis are having a wonderful season. They're second in their league, only 2 points behind Tigres, so very big surprise to see that this team is performing that well. Now let's have a look if there are more games to be played. No, the next fixtures are 3 days later. Moving now to the Super League Trophy, which is the cup competition only involving teams from Super League 3, 4 and 5. And in here we see that Celta Vigo eliminated Copa America while visiting. This is somewhat a surprise considering that Celta Vigo are in a lower league. Then we have Monterrey losing at home to Deportivo, Stoke eliminating Torino and West Ham beating Leverkusen. West Ham beating Leverkusen is another surprise. West Ham find themselves in the lowest tier of the Super Leagues while Leverkusen are in Super League 3. There are no games to be played in the Super League Masters, so now I'm going to fast forward another week into the future to see how things develop. Here we are now 1 week later, and let's focus first of all on the job security section again. I just want to quickly have a look if there has been any movement here. Let me exclude the international clubs, we're not really interested in them. So Gianpiero Gasperini is now very insecure. We also have Marcel Kaiser, the Ajax manager, Aykut Kocaman from Fenerbahce, Juan Carlos Unzue from Celta Vigo, Igor Tudor, the manager of Galatasaray, Claude Puel from Leicester, Marco Rose, that is leading Red Bull Salzburg, and Antonio Mohamed from Monterrey. So a lot of changes here. I'm sure that there has been actually some firings, I believe, because I don't see the PSG and Bayern Munich head coaches there. There is nothing in the job center to indicate that, so let me actually have a look the other way around. I'll just go directly to... Oh, PSG have recorded a couple of wins, and they have now climbed up the table, so apparently this is the reason why Jupp Heynckes and Unai Emery are no longer fearing for their jobs. Okay, so now let's get started with Super League 1 and see what happened in the meantime. So last time we left off, Real Madrid were leading the way, which they still do. You see that now they have an even more comfortable lead, 4 points above second place Manchester United. Arsenal and Manchester City are in 3rd and 4th position. Barcelona have really slumped down and they're now in 8th position. So this is a really bad period for the Barcelona team. We can see that they lost to Liverpool at home. On the other hand, Paris Saint-Germain defeated Inter and Bayern Munich took a very prestigious victory away to Real Madrid. So this is why they are progressing that well. Then in the next turn of fixtures, we see that Barcelona lost to Porto at home. So they're in a really bad situation at the moment, while Paris Saint-Germain eliminated Chelsea and Bayern Munich drew with Tottenham. So a very interesting fixtures here in Super League 1. We also see that in the player section there are a lot of news. Antoine Griezmann is leading the goal scorer list with 9 goals. Then Franco Vázquez is now the top performing player alongside Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. With Suarez is nowhere to be heard of. He's probably injured or in a very bad situation. He's tired after his last match, which means that he's not injured, but he's not really scoring. Juan Mata is now leading the assist table. He has 7, one more than Dani Carvajal, who was the assist leader for quite a long time. And we also see in the bottom of the table that PSG are now 17th 2 more points than the Benfica team, who are in the relegation zone alongside Roma and Napoli. So now Benfica have joined the relegation battle, while PSG are on points with Milan, and they have only one less than Dortmund and Bayern Munich. So both of those teams, Bayern Munich and PSG, have had good periods and are trying to get out of trouble. In Super League 2, we have parity at the top. We have Cruzeiro and Santos with 21 points each. Cruzeiro are leaders because they have better goal difference. Just behind them, 1 point behind them, are Villarreal, Sporting Clube de Portugal and Monaco with 20 points each. They're being followed by Valencia and Lyon with 19. At the bottom of the table, Ajax are yet to win any games, and they still have only 4 points, while Lazio have managed to record their first win and now have 9 points, but they're still in the relegation zone. CSK Moscow is also in there with them, and we can see that Palmeiras and Corinthians are with 11 points just above the relegation zone. It would be very interesting to see here. We have a very fierce battle at the top. You can see that the first 7 teams are all within 2 points, so this can go any way. I'm not sure exactly which team is the favorite here. If I have to judge, I would say Monaco, and as you can see, they're climbing up the table, but they are still not in the first position, so we'll see how this league develops through the season. Going now to Czech Super League 3, where Besiktas lead with 6 points cushion above second placed Leverkusen, who are with 21 points, Real Sociedad in third place with 20, and Sao Paulo in fourth place with 19. PSV Eindhoven and Fluminense are now with 18th each in 5th and 6th position respectively, and we see that at the bottom of the table Olympiacos have climbed up significantly. They have recorded a win and a draw, so this is very good news for the Greek team, and they're no longer in the bottom of the table. And by bottom I mean literally the 20th position. Of course, they're still in the relegation zone, the same way as Cruz Azul and Fenerbahce are still there, and Everton are still above it just because of their better goal difference. Kevin Volland has scored another goal, and he's now leading the goal scorers sheet with 9 goals against his name. Very impressive from the Leverkusen player. And now let's move on to Super League 4. Here we see Tigres continue their very impressive performance, 31 points. They still haven't recorded any losses and just a single draw. Real Betis on the other hand have lost 1 game and now find themselves 5 points behind Tigres. So here we have a very big favorite in the face of Tigres. I would be very surprised if they slump down the rankings, but it's still early season, only 11 games played out of 38, so there is a lot of time for surprises. In the bottom of the table we find Red Bull Salzburg have joined the relegation zone, which is something new. Pumas are still there, as well as Anderlecht, but Galatasaray have managed to climb and are 1 point above Red Bull Salzburg. What we also see here is that the Gerard Moreno is with 9 goals leading the goal scorer list. André Pierre Gignac is second with 8. André Pierre Gignac from Tigres is the best performing player ever since the beginning of the season here. Very impressive from the French striker. And the lowest level, Super League 5, Genoa and Sampdoria are equal on points with 20 each. Genoa are leading because of their superior goal difference. They're being chased by Racing Club in third place with 19. Stoke, Deportivo and Internacional all have 17. What else can we find out here? Pachuca, Bordeaux and Atalanta have each won 1 game in this past week. They had 8 points last week, now they have 11, which has not really helped them a lot, but they are getting closer to the next team in the ranking, Monterrey. Going now to see the Super League Cup, where Bordeaux have eliminated Real Sociedad. Hoffenheim won visiting Lazio in Rome. Monterrey beat the Italian Atalanta at home, while Sporting Clube de Portugal lost at home to Grêmio on penalties, and Villarreal defeated FC Copenhagen in Spain. In the Super League trophy, we find Celtic that have recorded a loss at home to Hertha Berlin, while Pachuca also were eliminated by Everton on penalties. Red Bull Salzburg lost to Sampdoria, and Spartak Moscow were eliminated on penalties to the Turkish Besiktas. In the Super League Masters competition, which is involving only the teams from Super League 1 and 2, we see that CSK Moscow have lost at home to Shakhtar Donetsk 0-4. This is very impressive victory for the Ukrainian team, while Flamengo lost at home to Monaco. With all that, now I'm going to fast forward another week into the future, which is going to be the final week for this episode, to see how the Super Leagues are progressing. Here we are now at the 5th of November 2017, and we have the first casualty of the Super Leagues. This is the manager of San Lorenzo, who was Claudio Biagio. He has been sacked, and we see that they are now looking for a new head coach. San Lorenzo find themselves in 7th position in Super League 4. So apparently here we are going to see a new manager taking place. Now let's have a look at the job security section as well. This is Claudio Biagio. He's under review, which is, I see that he's now interim, which is very interesting that the Argentinian team have rehired the sacked manager to be interim or something similar. I'm not sure what exactly they have arranged there. We also see that Igor Tudor and Gianpiero Gasperini, the managers of Galatasaray and Atalanta, are very insecure, so we can expect some changes here as well. Now let's do a quick review of the 5 leagues, and afterwards we're also going to check, of course, the cup competitions. And before we end the episode, I want to have a quick look at the Champions League and the Europa League in Europe. First off, of course, is the Super League 1, where Real Madrid are still leading there with 26 points. Very impressive performance from Los Blancos, and we see that Juventus are now in 2nd place with 23 points, Manchester United 3rd, Arsenal 4th, and Barcelona and Manchester City are all on level with Arsenal with 21 points each. In the bottom of the table we find Milan, Roma and Napoli, so Benfica have managed to climb up there, but we have seen that the Italian Rossoneri, Milan, are now in the relegation zone. In Super League 2 we have a new leader. This is the French Monaco, which is to be expected. I think that Monaco are the strongest team in that division anyway. They have surpassed Cruzeiro and Santos, who are now 2nd and 3rd respectively with 21 points, 2 points behind the leaders. Villarreal and Sporting Club de Portugal find themselves in 4th and 5th position with 20 points each. Valencia and Lyon are with 19 just behind them. In the bottom of the table we see CSK Moscow have now slumped in the relegation zone. Lazio and Ajax are still there for quite a while. And Corinthians and Palmeiras are just above the relegation zone with 11 points each. Super League 3 is being led by the Turkish Beşiktaş, who are now with 6 points cushion above 2nd place Sao Paulo with 22 points. Leverkusen find themselves in 3rd position with 21, Real Sociedad are 4th with 20. In the bottom of the table we see Turkish Fenerbahce, Greek Olympiacos and Mexican Cruz Azul. They're all there for quite a while. I see Everton have managed to record a single point, which has put them 1 point above Fenerbahce, and now they no longer have to rely on their goal difference. I think Cruz Azul and Olympiacos would struggle a lot in this league unless they really manage to turn it around, and I'm surprised that their managers do not find themselves fearing for their jobs or looking or the board looking for other alternatives. It's now 11th and 12th round, so I'm sure that maybe in the next month there will be a lot more changes in terms of sacked managers and changes in the head coach department. In Super League 4 we don't really have a lot of surprises. Tigres are still leading the way with 31 points. They are yet to record any losses. Real Betis are 2nd with 26, and they're being chased by Atlético Nacional with 22, Newcastle 21 and Spartak Moscow with 20. Then in the bottom of the table we find Turkish Galatasaray, Pumas and Anderlecht are also here. They have been in the relegation zone for quite a while and find themselves in a bit of trouble. In the lowest division, Super League 5, Genoa and Sampdoria are still leading the way, 21 points each. 1 point above Deportivo Internacional with 20, then Racing Club with 19 and Club Brugge with 18. In the bottom of the table, Pachuca, Bordeaux and Atalanta have not managed to record any additional points and still find themselves in the bottom with 11. In the Super League Cup, we had one game being played. Manchester City defeated Espanyol 1-0 with a goal from Raheem Sterling. I now want to quickly focus to the Europa League just to see how the teams are performing. We have a lot of the teams that are competing in the Super Leagues also taking part in the European competitions. So I'm not really going to comment on all of the things that I show on the screen. I'll leave that to you, and we'll also only focus on the things that I find interesting. Let me just see. I'm just going to quickly scroll down to see all of the groups and to see if there is something that is worth commenting here. I see a lot of teams that I'm not familiar with, so I will leave any conclusions to you guys. I don't really want to comment on the performance here. I see that the top teams are dominating the groups, no real surprises there. Going up to the Champions League, let's see what is happening here. Okay, first interesting fact, Tottenham and Chelsea are in the same group. I was not aware that this was even possible, that two English teams can be in the same group. Let me just see, Tottenham are in Super League 1 as well as Chelsea, so this is very, very strange to me. We need to, if somebody knows why is that happening, if there is any legit reason or is this a bug of the game, please let me know in the comments. I would be very happy to understand what is happening here. I don't see any other occurrence of a similar situation where two teams from one nation, although keep in mind that all those top teams right now, all the top 100 teams are marked as Portuguese, which means that this might be causing it. I'm not sure. We can also see here Group H is very interesting. Group H has 3 Italian teams, Juventus, Roma and Napoli are all in here. So indeed something has went very, very wrong, and I find this hilarious, but let me know what you guys think, if you know the reason for this and why is it happening. Alright, I think that's enough for this episode. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already to receive notifications for when I upload new videos. If you haven't seen the previous parts of this experiment, check out my channel or the description below. I'm going to leave there the links. Especially important is episode 1, where I explain how these competitions have been created, what are the rules and what is the purpose. In the meantime, you can also check out my social media, links will be provided in the description below. Let me know what you guys think about the Super Leagues and what would you like me to focus on. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Once again, thank you everybody for watching. Until the next time, bye!